I refuse to let my past determine my future. If you put as much effort into the gym as you did to please people, you would have a six pack by now. And that's a fact. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joanna, and in this video, we will talk about how to validate your own self. So, let's get into it, shall we? The first thing that you need to understand is that external validation is a trap. You will never please anyone, so why try? Think of it this way. You trying to please someone will never work. Because if you try this hard to please someone, don't you think you should have achieved that by now? You spent years trying to please someone, trying to please your mom, your dad, your teacher, your coworkers, friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever. Now, did they get pleased? Did it actually work? You trying that hard, did it actually work? 10 times out of 10, it did not work. Why do you think it didn't work? Because you are being someone that you're not. You are putting on a facade that you think they would like. How do you know that? What you're doing right now is that you're making assumptions. There is a book called The Four Agreement, and in the third agreement, it says that. I'm just going to read it out to you. It says, don't make assumptions. Avoid making assumptions about others or situations. Instead, ask questions to gain clarity. Now, how many of us do that?
You think, oh, she probably thought that. They thought this, maybe that. Oh, I know for a fact they were thinking that.
How do you know that? How do you know that? Are you in their mind? You're not. So how do you know they think that?
But you might say, okay, no, but because of the way they act, or the way they do things, or they've always done this.
By you making assumptions, you are trying to fit this facade that you think these people would like because you are seeking external validation. Honey, listen, if you put as much effort into the gym as you did to please people, you would have a six pack by now. And that's a fact. So another way that you can start to validate your own self is by being your own self, by not being ashamed of who you are, by 100% unapologetically being yourself. Think of the Cinderella movie. You know that scene where every girl in the city comes in and tries to fit her foot into Cinderella's shoes? None of their feet fit into that shoe. That's you, baby. That is you. You are trying to fit in everyone else's shoe. Everyone else who has lined all the shoes up for you, the government, the society, education system, family, social media, you name it. They have lined up all these shoes in front of you. You are trying to fit your foot into their shoe. And it never works. Because, honey, you are custom made. You're not supposed to fit into any other shoe. You have your own pair. You don't need to fit into anyone else's shoe when you have your own pair. Another way that you can start validating yourself is by enjoying your own company and spending time in solitude. So the things that I started to do in newfound solitude was reading books, listening to podcasts, going on walks, going for runs, going to the park, buy myself drinks. Basically, you start to date your own self. You take your own self on solo dates. I love, 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 love to do that. And I've been doing that for the past 2 years now. I find so much joy in spending time by myself. I love being by myself because when I'm by myself, I'm the most creative. That's when ideas flow to me. I believe that's because your energy is pure. No external energy is coming to get mixed with your own energy. And because it's pure, that's when you're most creative. That's when you're most you. You don't have any external thoughts, any external ideas, any external people trying to feed their own ideas or their own perceptions into yours. And now I love solitude. I love solitude. And I'm a person that, yes, I love people and I love being around people. But after I spend like an hour or two, max 3 hours with a person, I'm like, no, I need to go home. I need to go home. And this happened last time. My friend's birthday. We went to the cinema for her birthday, and then we went out to eat. We spent like a nice afternoon together, and then I went home. I was like, okay, I need to go home now because that's enough socializing for me. I know how valuable my energy is. I know how valuable my peace and my state of mind is to me now. I do not give it to any and everybody. I just cannot. I cannot do it. Another thing that you need to do to start validating your own self is you need to start reframing your inner dialogue. You need to start talking to yourself like your own best friend. And don't talk to yourself like a hater. Whatever hateful thoughts you have towards yourself or mean or negative thoughts that you have towards yourself, Would you say those thoughts out loud to a friend? Or to your mom, or to your dad, or to your brothers, or to your sisters, or whoever? Would you say those hateful words to them? You wouldn't. Who would? No one does that. No one does that. But we do that to ourselves. You need to treat yourself like your own best friend. You have to be your own best friend, your biggest cheerleader to your own self. Something that drastically has changed my mindset was the fact that the way you think about yourself, those are just stories that you told yourself. Now, why would you want to spend the rest of your life thinking negatively about yourself? Thinking that you're not pretty enough, that you're not good looking enough, that you're not smart enough, that you're not talented enough. Why would you want to spend the rest of your life thinking like that? I don't want to spend the rest of my life thinking like that. There is no way. So, what I'm going to do, if I have a negative thought, I'm going to replace it with a positive thought. Always. The way you speak to yourself shapes your reality. Your words shape the way you think. It shapes your perspective. It shapes the reality of your life. So if you think negatively, there is a reason for that. It could be social media, it could be the way you were raised, it could be the fact that you went through trauma during childhood, it could be anything on planet Earth. But you do not allow those to define the rest of your life. You cannot allow those stories to define the rest of your life. That's in the past. You cannot change your past. You cannot do anything about the past. You can't touch it, you can't see it, you can't do anything about it. It's just a memory in your head, and that's it. And you're gonna allow that one memory or a few bad memories to determine the rest of your freaking life? What is this? What is this? No, I have a phrase I say, I refuse to let my past determine my future. What do you mean? I'm going to let one thing that, or a few things that happened in my past to determine my future? Absolutely not. Everything that has been said, those people are projecting onto you. Do you understand this? Do you see how powerful words are? Because whatever those people told you, now they shape your reality. Those people are living rent free in your life. Those people are shaping your reality. You're going to let that person determine how you feel? No. Do you see the power of words? Do you see the power of your words and of other people's words? If you're not strong enough, if you don't have unshakable confidence, other people's thoughts and comments, yes, they're going to influence you for a fact. 100% they will influence you. And how would you know they won't influence you? You know by, or you feel bad about yourself. You don't feel good about yourself, or you feel some type of way. And you listening to those things over and over and over and over again, they get ingrained in your mind. So you need to speak positive thoughts into yourself. You need to feed your soul and your mind with positive affirmations. You're beautiful, you're smart, you're talented, you're educated, you're stunning. You feed, you pour love into yourself. You need to repeat those words over and over and over and over again until you reach a point where you automatically just think those thoughts. Negative thoughts are no longer in your head. I reached a point where I told myself, I refuse to let other people determine how I feel about me. I'm not going to allow external forces or external circumstances or external whoever, people, to determine how I feel about me, to determine my value, my worth, the way I see myself, the way I appreciate myself. What that's not going to happen. No way. No, absolutely not. I refuse. I refuse. Another way that you validate your own self is by building internal validation. And the way you do this is by celebrating you getting in university, you passing your exams, you getting your degree, you losing weight, you starting your own business, you traveling by yourself, you stepping outside that comfort zone. Celebrate you. Celebrate every single small step that you take. Because who will celebrate that for you? If you don't celebrate it for yourself, who will be there to celebrate it for you? You have to prioritize yourself. Let's say you pass your exams. Okay? You're in school, you pass your exams. Get yourself, buy yourself some sweets. Maybe buy yourself a treat or a little cupcake. You see, small things like that. Romanticize your life in a way, a little bit. Another way that you can validate your own self is by setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is so important. I know a lot of people have boundaries, and I know that some people find it difficult to reinforce those boundaries when it's needed. Set boundaries, honey. Set boundaries. Boundaries will keep you protected. I've said this time and time again. I've said in the video how to mentally level up. I'll link it in the description below. Have a look at that video because it will teach you how to have boundaries and how those boundaries will protect you. But boundaries are there to protect you. Another thing that you need to do to validate your own self is that you need to build confidence. Because if you don't work out, if you don't read, if you don't pursue degrees, or if you don't study, or if you don't try and educate yourself some way, shape, or form, how are you going to feel confident about yourself? How is that going to work? How are you going to feel confident about yourself? If all you do is play video games or binge watch shows, you don't know anything about life, how are you going to feel confident about yourself? If you don't work on yourself, there's nothing there to be confident about. It's just simple as that. If you have made it this far into the video, please comment a white heart emoji. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!